G'day guys, and welcome back to Tom's Brook Farm. So George had a reasonable night last night in this paddock. He did have to, I'll show you on Agri Track. So when he came on to night shift, Levi had done these trees here, but George had to do these ones here. He then had to finish off his outside lap, and then we got him to start, as you can see from here. So he had a nice clear night. He had to go around this trees as well, so that slowed him down. And then this ground is all very hard ground. So yeah, he's had a good night. I'm not sure if you guys can read that or not, but the front right hand light on the tractor is flickering and going haywire on him, so I got to sort that out today. The wind today, and I'll try and do as much filming inside as I can. It's currently 39, gusting to 52 k's an hour, that is. So yeah, it's a horrible day. So horrible, in fact, that I gave Henry the day off because he can't even spray today. So he'll try and spray tonight because we should have this pretty much all covered. And if we don't have it all covered, it'll pretty much nearly all be done by the time George comes on tonight. So yeah, anyway, while he's warming up, and I'm going to go and get that full, even though he's still a couple of hours off needing a fill. I'll get that full ready to go, and then I need to go check for mice, and I'll show you why. So George is seeing quite a few mice out when he's seeding away, and as I came to start Wally this morning, would you look at that? There's a mouse hole. Now I'm out of the wind. So yes, there's a mouse hole down there. So today I'm going to go for a drive across this paddock. I'm also going to go for a drive again across the paddock that we finished the other day, just to check. It's been over 24 hours now, so they would have dug their holes up if they're still there. So I'm going to go and check that, because if it's a bad enough population, we need to get spreading. So I've got that to do. And there also could be a special delivery happening today, so stay tuned for that. Windy days are just unpleasant days, and don't worry, I remember to roll the tarp these days. I don't want to go and have to buy another carton. Boy, is it windy. God, it's not fun being out in that. So I've got to load with felt new rear now, and then after that I've got to try and attempt to get this tarp closed. Otherwise what happens is the wind like scallops it out as it blows over it. So I've got to get that tarp closed, and then I'll grab Bill and we'll go out and get my ute and bring that back here and leave this here. Right, time to go and load the truck. Got the tarp all rolled without too many issues, and then I've got Bill hooked onto the back of my ute now, so we'll head back to the shed. I did go for a walk across the canola just there, and I was going to show you guys, but it is just too windy outside. Yeah, it's not pleasant. So anyway, Levi is over here, so when he gets back up to this end, he's going to start here and start working on these fiddly bits that are in here. And the reason being is that's slow work, better for it to be done in the day. I'm not sure how much area we've got out in front of him, but it is slow going out there because it's hard ground. So if George does come back on tonight, he'll have a little bit of area to do, and then Henry is going to try and get a tanker spray out tonight, so we'll see if he can get that out for George for tonight. The wind now is currently 42 as an average, gusting to over 50, so it's pretty nasty outside. So what I'm doing is staying inside and what I thought I'd do is I'd start digitizing my my breakdowns. So what I do is every year I got the trusty notebook, and I write down breakdowns as they happen. I got all the previous year's breakdowns all just there, and the reason I digitize them is, one, I don't, if I lose my booklet there, then I've lost my breakdowns. But also, normally I'm writing them in a hurry, or you could be angry after a breakdown, or it's in the middle of the night per se. So it's a lot easier for me to try and, I can't really read some of them, so it's easier to digitize them. I find it handy to do. Dad used to do it as well, and then that's where I've got it from. And I find it handy because I can go back. So I got seeding 2022, and I can look through things that were happening. And before we got to this season, we went through, we made sure we had things on hand if we had things break down. For example, we had the Norris motor kept going flat on us last year, so that's why I bought the jump pack this year, and then that's now in Wally, ready to go. We've already used it twice. What else happened? A lot happened. Here's one. When we did our mouse baits last year, I'm not sure why, but the product was quite wet. So when we emptied it into the spreader and then put it on the ground, a bit, like the bag that is, a bit dripped onto the ground. We then took the bag away and put it in the tip. But the bit that was dripped on the ground, one of our dogs went and licked it up. She didn't die, but she did get quite sick. So now when we did our mouse baits this year, as soon as we took the bags off, we made sure there's nothing on the ground, and if there was, we picked it up straight away, so it was out the reach of the dogs. Simple things like I record how many hoses we have that get holes in them. The Agrifac had nozzles not turning on last year. The bin in Agflow lid, the strut, that broke, and again it's broken this year. Flat tire, calibration's out. It's just handy to do, I find, and then we just go through it at the end of the season with everybody, and then they remind me if I've forgotten something. And then like I said, when it comes to next year, we'll read through all these, and then we'll go, right, no, we need to get that, or we need to do this, or we need to do something different. And just how we improve how we work here on the farm. So the ground the boys are working in is it's hard ground. It's actually quite a lot of rocks out there too. Last night George had a point break off, and when he went to put the point on, he said that the boot was quite worn. So I'm just going to grab a boot now, and we'll head out and have a look at what that looks like on the actual tractor, and we'll see if we need to change it or not. We're still a little while off doing a fill, because I got Levi to go over here and do all this small stuff. Since the fill that George did last night, there's only been 40 hectares or 46 hectares done, so still got quite a lot to go. So I'll get this boot, and then we'll change it if we have to, because we don't want to leave that for too long if it is buggered. And then we'll do a fill later on. This is the boot. So the point goes down where my thumb is. Hose is obviously come in the top, and I think George said it's quite worn, like up in here. So we shall go see what it looks like on the tractor, change it if necessary. It's only 2 bolts plus the obviously I change the point and then the 2 hoses. So we're at the tractor, and this is the boot that had the worn point. So you might be able to see it's sort of dovetailed around the edge here, and we've got it's a bit blocked off at the back there, but that doesn't need changing because we've got the point on there now. It's it's all good. So what we'll do is we'll just leave that for now. I don't see any need to change that, so we'll leave that there for now. So I was about to leave Levi to it, but He reckons that the screen is different to what is on cameras, so we're just going to do a quick cow on our barley just to make sure it's going all right, and then yeah, that way it's all good, and then we'll send him on his way. Ready to roll?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was meant to be 10 kilos and that was 11 kilos, so we're going 9.65% higher, which is, it's really annoying that this keeps happening. It's always something we have happen with when you're doing high rates of things. This bin is just not ideal at keeping its calibration.
A lot more in there than it looks like on the screen.
What was that? Alright, she's all calibrated. We'll see how that goes. I think we'll be doing a fill in a couple of hours anyway. But yeah, it is annoying that it keeps on doing that. I'm not sure why it does that. As you can see, we do quite a few calibrations throughout the year in just the same product, and just from day to day it changes quite a lot, which is yeah, frustrating. It'd be nice to have the ones that have the scales on so it's auto calibrating, but we don't, so this is what we're going to put up with. And that was the other thing, I've had confirmation that the delivery is coming today, so this afternoon sometime we will be getting a delivery, so stay tuned for what that is going to be. Righty-o, wind is still absolutely horrible, it will be the whole day. It's currently 12 o'clock and we are heading out to go and fill Levi now. A lot later than what I thought, but he's been in slow stuff and George was in slow stuff last night, so that's where we're at. So yeah, I'll fill him and then fill this up again, and then we won't do a fill until shift change, I reckon, at this rate. So ideally I wouldn't be driving out into the paddock to do a fill, but because we're on our angles it's sort of creating this conundrum for us. I can't fill him at the other end because it's around the trees up there that have got the spaded country on, so I mean the tractor can barely turn on that soft sand. There is absolutely no hope of this getting out there, so that is why I am heading out around the bush, around the rock now, and we'll fill him when we get around the corner here. I know that the camera isn't going to pick it up, but well, yeah, you can see it. All this haze is sand, so that's sand from our claying area there. It's also coming from the neighbour as well. They had to burn their paddock to get through it. Now it just backs up my whole thing of why we don't burn. When you do a good burn, it looks just like how that sand is over there on the spaded country, and we get winds like this very often, and it just absolutely sandblasts and chews the emerging crop, whatever it be, and it just cannot recover. So that's why we're going on the angles. Just we're avoiding burning at all costs, because we learned our lesson from when we burnt, and it yeah, it hurt us. Well, it's been quite an interesting fill. We've got wet twice, and you guys probably can't see it, but we're about to get wet a third time. It's also gusting to about 50 k's an hour, so we're getting blown around. But what we are going to do is when we finish filling, we're on the barley now, we're nearly done, is we're going to do a calibration across all three. Barley, just to check, make sure that it's stayed the same, but the urea and ag flow look like he's got a little bit too much for what he should have. He did 71 hectares on that tank, so I'd imagine it should be a little bit lower than what it is. So we are just going to check that and see where that's at. And there we go, the rain has just started again. Well, we're going to have some fun. When we were doing the barley there, Levi found the bolt. My initial thoughts were it was the top of the auger there. That one goes on us occasionally. Because I can't really think of anywhere else where this bolt would have come from. Anyway, we just finally finished that calibration in the rain. Got it up, had a look with my torch, and it is the f***ing bolt from up the top there. Now it's we do this probably about once or twice a year. It's a pain that this keeps on happening. We've got the right size bolt, we've got the right size keyway, but it just keeps on breaking. And the issue is it's going to take us. It can either be quick, it can be like a 20-minute job, or it can take us like 2 or 3 hours to get it. So Levi and I are going to have some fun this afternoon. I'm just going to get him going. I need this land covered, so he's going to start seeding, and yeah, we'll have a crack at it in a couple of hours once he's got a few hectares under his belt. And when we do that, we'll also we will replace that boot. I had another look at it, and we've got the spare one there, so we're just going to replace that as well. So yeah, fun times ahead. Oh, and the calibrations, were they off? The urea actually was fine, but the barley was 10% down, even though when I just counted before we were only 100 grams off, and the ag flow was 4% down. So they're all calibrated now, set to go at their actual rates. We're just going to have to keep calibrating every day, just to make sure everything's going out correctly. I can't fill this truck up while we've got these showers that keep coming through, so I'll have to do that later on. So what I will do is find a bolt to replace our one for the auger. Now it is quite interesting. This bolt here is, whoops, yeah, it's shorn there. So this is the length of the bolt. The auger's still working fine. So it's obviously seized in place or something, which is giving me hope that we'll be able to just grab a new bolt, chuck this one straight back in. Yeah, normally when it happens, you can't, the auger's stopped or it's full of product or something like that, and it just takes us a while to get it perfectly lined up. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take that spout off, which is a pain, because then we're going to get it back on in the exact right spot. But yeah, I'll go find a bolt and hopefully we have one. I just received a Snapchat from Henry. He's gone past the delivery truck with whatever it is delivering to the farm here, so it's not too far away from arriving, so that'll be exciting. So Henry went to town, and for all those people that commented when Wally got a flat tire, did the spare go to town? It did not, but when Henry went to town, he went and got it fixed, so we now do have the spare tire ready to roll if needed. And the delivery has arrived. Now what could it be, I wonder? It's a new tractor. So, a case tractor. It is very basic but nice on the inside. Why have I got a case tractor? So this one will be going on the slasher and also on the bagger come harvest time. We needed a new one because I bought a fill bin with an auger, so the bug's going to go on the augered fill bin. So when I was looking for a tractor to replace Art, that yeah, I need a new seeding tractor for next year. The toss-up was between John Deere and Case, and I've gone for a road track. So there's the big announcement. We're going red. It was yeah, I got the road track and this for a very good price, and I would have been crazy to go for a John Deere basically. And the John Deere, they didn't know when it was going to arrive. It could be anywhere from March to July, and the road track Case is going to get here in December, hopefully January. So we knew it was going to be here for seeding, so it was just a no-brainer. So yeah, we're slowly going away from John Deere stuff, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but we'll see how the Case stuff goes. Yeah, the tractors, they look good. The neighbours have got one. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. Henry's jumping in for a joyride. Now we don't have a name for this yet, so go crazy in the comments. What should we name it? Better get in quick before you know, something sticks around here. But if you've got a name for it, chuck it in the comments there, and we'll go through them all, see which one's best. So I'm assuming you've all got questions of you know, getting away from green and going red. Like I said, it was purely a monetary thing, and we are going down in horsepower. We're going down from 520 to 500. Obviously with a road track, they only do 500s, although there is a 525 coming out, but that's not until later in the year, which yeah, that's too late for us. I want it for seeding next year. I'm hoping that having 4 tracks and it's a lot heavier than what the current John Deere is, will give me more power to ground and traction than what I have currently with Art, because that's on 36-inch tracks, so it's too wide, it just floats too much. So yeah, I'm hoping that means I'll be able to get more power and traction to ground, and yeah, I should be able to tow the bar fine. We're going to find out the hard way if it doesn't, but yeah, a few guys around here, the neighbour's got one, he tows an 80-foot flexi coil, and a couple other guys I talked to, they have them towing 60-foot DBSs, and DBSs take a lot of pulling, so I'm pretty confident I should be okay with the Borgo. But yeah, it's just going to be great having a 4-track machine. The 2-track just scuffs too much, and just makes a mess in the paddock basically. So it's just going to be nice having a 4-track articulated tractor, but that won't get here until January. So I'm just waiting for Levi to get down here, and we're going to give this do this repair on the auger. So to do that, we have to take the spout off, and I'm hoping that the auger is still lined up to the bolt hole, because it's still spinning, so it should be. The keyway is obviously still there, so I should be able to just put the new bolt, I'm hoping, just straight in, and tighten her up, and off she goes. Put the spout back on. After we've done that, we'll do the boot. We'll just change that boot over, and then it should be right to keep on going. Where we are is a bit sheltered here, so Henry can't go spraying just yet, but the wind is starting to slowly drop down, so I think by about 5 or 6 o'clock Henry will be able to get a tank of spray out for George for tonight. The one issue we do have is that he will be starting a new paddock tonight in order to get these hectares, or his full night's worth. He'll have to go and start a new paddock, which might be a bit of an issue with blocking, but I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. See the
that bolt there.
so if that bolt just there is gone on us, so I'm hoping I can just slide a new bolt in. We're going to hope for it anyway. Okie dokie, we've got that done and back on. We had to bring the auger this way. It was about half a bolt hole out, so that's all done. Now Levi is just over there replacing the boot, so I'll head over there now and give him a hand.
This is morning.
Alright, so he is all sorted now. That auger is fixed and that bolt is replaced. That boot is replaced. We will see when it comes to the fill at shift change there, if that bolt's going to break or not. It shouldn't break, but if it does, that's when it'll do it. So yeah, we'll go back now. We need to fill up Wally, so that's ready. The rain is all past, so we'll get that done. And I think the wind has nearly dropped enough that Henry will be able to shoot out and get a tank done for George. Oh, got ya. Wally's full and ready to roll, and you would have just seen on that time lapse there, Henry's headed out. So I reckon to finish off the video, we'll go fly a drone over Henry.